Well, welcome back to the Sophia Files. Hey guys, I haven't talked to y'all all week, really.
Yeah.
How are things going in the world, Danica, with your capital D divorce?
Uh, we're making progress. We're
Yeah,
still not there yet, but we're making progress. So
good,
hopefully before the end of next week we'll have an agreement. So
good. And how are you, Miss Melissa, in the world of teaching and the world of readings?
So teaching is fine, and I have another psychic fair this weekend, and I need to find some more to fill up my books. So I only have one booked right now, but there are a handful of them out there, and it's just like pulling teeth to sometimes get in touch with these the coordinators and get signed up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's I just heard like the sound of a train before, like as it's getting going. It's always like the steam has to release all these things, but I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I'm going to be with you as well. I have a fair this weekend as well with Miracles of Joy. So we're off to now, Danica. We just got to get you in the ball game. But I know you got.
Let's get this divorce thing done first.
We are so close. It'll be off to the races soon. Now,
Yeah.
last episode we ended by saying that we were very entertained at the thought of discussing serial killers. Then we kind of trailed off into missing peoples, which is always fun. And then while I've got everyone kind of in order, what are y'all's personal questions so I can get that written down if you have any?
I would like uh 2026 predictions and dates.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Dates
like that.
like my guides are like, of course you do. Okay. So like a forecast
Yeah, like the
for
highlights, like what, like, yeah,
well,
like
I just
things
I
to be
just heard
aware.
I just heard highlights. That's optimistic. I'm just kidding. Where am I?
Like,
Awesome. And then
what do you know?
I don't know anything, but the feedback as I talk is feeling interesting. And how about you, Miss Melissa?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying too. Like, I don't really have any specific questions. I would, I was listening to a podcast earlier today that was about numerology
Okay.
and about how right now we're in a year of nine, which is like the cycles go one through nine.
Yep.
So 26 is a year of one. I would like to hear a little maybe about that.
I love that. Numerology. And then I'm gonna bring up a personal thing. My friend Patty, she just got served probate papers. So we're gonna talk about her a little bit. So, all right. Let's get going. Okay, let's see. First of all, I'm gonna bring the guides close, and I'm gonna put that as a topic. Two guides, just kind of like a guide celebration moment. But we had in class last night, um, one of the students met her guide for the first time, and I can even feel it like that she really wasn't sure. She was like, I don't know about if this is what I think it is, but it was just really fun because it's been a while since we met ours, right? But I'm still always in awe that they're doing this with us. But okay, so let's see. Let's start with the topic of serial killers and let's just go broad first and let's see what they have to say about how that process begins. Like, were they that way in previous lives? Is it like nature versus nurture? You get turned into one. What are the guides kind of saying about the dark origin story, so to speak? And we'll knock off the get the ball running. Melissa, I'll start with you.
They're saying there's a seed there. Like there is a proclivity, there's something there. It's not just a you have this, soul that's just ready for big and great things. There no, there's something in that soul when it comes into this body. It is it's not a by chance.
And what do you feel, Danica?
I'm hearing that there's that, but as well, there's also free will and a lot of low vibe frequency can lead you down a path
that entices you to go that way.
So still free will that you could not take that path, but without that little seed being there, that's not a way that you would have.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine the first signs of it, right? So, imagine that you have a normal, what you would call a normal household, and you find out your daughter is skinning rabbits. What would the guy, if you were like, dear gods, what the heck do I do? What is going on? What would they say in that circumstance?
I'm hearing stay cool, calm, collected, and curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ask questions is what they're saying. Like, don't jump the gun. Just look into it a little more. There may be another reason.
And let's go back to the idea of the seed, because, and I'll share what my guides are saying at the end, but I kind of want to draw this in specifics. What would we say on a soul level the seed of that would be? If we had to put a name to it or a color to it, what is that seed?
I'm just seeing it as being black. I don't have a name for it, but when I visualize it, it is just this little bit of darkness that is there.
Yeah, it is. It's dark. It's dark. I'm not necessarily seeing just black though. I'm seeing like a dark muddiness. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm not getting like a word.
Mm-hmm. Um, what they're showing the blackness would be an absence of light, like in the knowingness of what you are. Because when we do have that, when we're okay, so if something horrible happens at the point of your life, there's always that option. We call it kind of the hall of healing, right? But it would be a place where the soul would go where maybe mediums would not really be able to reach them easily because they're in a separate place. And that place is where you make your soul whole again, right? These energies are energies that have not gone there. They have ended life without reconsolidating their essence. And then they're kind of bypassing certain functions, and they're utilizing the wholeness of free will, because you can be in the other state of the world, in the spirit frame, and be guided to pick certain things, and you can still say no, right? There's no one forcing you into contracts. So imagine you just think you know it all. You've been convinced that you believe that this is, you're a one-man band, and now you come back in and you've lessened as a soul. And what do we do when we are afraid of existence? We try to dominate. So the feedback loop that creates a serial killer, because we are referring to serial ones, not crimes of passion, shit like that. You're really you're dancing with a lack. You're basically knowing on some level that you lack what you should have, and then you try to take it from others. That's what I was being shown. Now let's hone our energy around, let's say, the BTK killer. Very graphic, very violent. But Danica, do you know who that is?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Okay. Then we're going to ask, I'm not going to ask you to connect with that energy, because there's no need, and why do it? But I would like you to try to bring forward either somebody who was of the light, who was near that topic, who could speak on it, or just allow the guides to come through, whichever feels the best. And if it's someone you don't know, just describe them. Allow them to sort of share their story if they can.
So there's a younger woman. She's saying he was delusional, like not right in the head.
What was her relationship with him?
She doesn't know him personally. She knows of him.
And what does she look like? Was she from the time that he would have been doing his work? Or how did she kind of feel willing to speak about him?
So again, I know nothing about him. I don't know. It's telling me she's saying she's from the 70s.
I love it.
She is showing me like her sweater. It has stripes on it right here. She has straight brown hair. She's hippie-ish. She's saying it was very morbid.
Mm-hmm. And does she feel that he wound up on the light side of spirit, or she can't see him there?
He's not there.
And ask her, if we could, was she part of the investigation at all?
No, she was just she's saying a standby. I'm not sure what that means.
or like a bystander.
Yeah.
And Melissa, I'm going to jump to you. I love it when your babies pop up.
Um, so I was also connecting to a woman who was not a victim, was close to a victim. And what she was showing me was of like I'm standing in the place that she lived in, and I kind of get the feel it was either a roommate that she had or like a sister of hers. So, but this man came to their house willingly, as if it was like early on in his career, because the picture that I see of him was like maybe early 20s,
Mm,
like a younger man. And so this was as if it was like a date.
mm,
And so the person that was communicating with me was just saying that she just said he was creepy. Like he looked fine and he talked fine, but it was like some social awkwardness and he was just a little creepy. Um, she also said that when you were asking questions for Danica's one that she was connecting to, mine was answering, and she said um, I did interact with the police. I did give them statements, and that's as far as it went.
do you
So
believe that you guys were contacting the same individual?
I don't think so, because this
No.
person, I didn't see her, but um, she was only presenting for me her limited time that she saw him. She
Hmm.
didn't interact with him that much other than some casual conversation that lasted a few minutes.
And now her sister was, or roommate did end up being a victim? Okay. Okay. And I have a respect. I always want to leave those, I want to leave them alone. You know what I mean? So that's why I asked for adjacent, not
Yeah.
on above topic.
But and I only know I know what the BTK stands for, but I really and I've been a crime buff, so I think I probably have seen something about it in the past, but I don't really remember much of it. And I couldn't have even told you what decade it was in, but when Danica was saying 70s, I was looking at my environment that she was showing me, and it was definitely 70s.
Hmm. Um, and just to clarify, so Danica, BTK is bind, torture, kill. So that was what he was named in the articles. So I'm curious if we can get into contact with anybody who would have been in the police departments or in the investigations. Can we see if anybody will step through? I feel like there's a man with me, and I feel like he's saying it was disgusting. He was saying it was disgusting, it was unsavory, which is not a word I usually use. And he's almost saying it was very confusing. It feels like it was um he said he had to step away from it. He said he actually got moved off of it because it was so off.
So I had a police
Challenging.
officer just right up front and was is just like, I want to get this son of a bitch. Like he was angry. It was really definitely an emotionally charged case.
And
That's kind of what I'm feeling too. That like there's a man and it's almost like he's like intense, so intense about it.
can I ask that Danica, with whom you're connecting to, in his lifetime, was there anything he could compare it to?
He says no, he's never seen anything like this on any case he was ever on.
My guy's saying Dante's Inferno. And I honestly feel like he's like, that's where I wanted him to be. So that's what.
Yes. And and how did that influence, as we speak with Danica, your guy, and then Melissa, yours as well, on their soul path, now that they're no longer with us? Was their role within catching crime, with their exposure to this case, how did it shift and change their soul?
He's saying that it brought a darkness over him to think that humans could do that, could even like use their imagination to come up with those disgusting things to do to another human being.
Melissa?
He says that, yeah, it took a toll, but it was like it the crimes themselves were a lot to take in, but I could deal with that. I was dealing with it. But when I left that life, it was like living three lifetimes. It was just that intense. Like the change that I had to me, um, was such an exhausting thing to go through. I had to just take a long rest.
The gentleman that I'm working with right now, he was talking while you guys were talking, and he was kind of saying very dramatic statements, and he was just saying, it broke me. He's also indicating almost that he said it felt almost like on a soul level an initiation. He said he almost would have said maybe he was a younger soul. And he says it almost feels that like it was a trial by fire. And he said I couldn't look at people the same. He's saying my faith in my faith in the eyes, he said, was gone for that lifetime. He's actually saying it deeply affected his personal relationships. So it's so interesting because I do feel like I got somebody who was he would almost consider himself a victim of him too.
This guy's telling me go look at my pictures. Go find me. He said I was a little higher ranking. He said I was a beat cop that got past that level. He was more not in charge, but he was like a mentor for younger cops. Like he had just had more experience. And he said he was able to get through it because he had already seen some stuff. He said, now this blew everything out of the water, but I had been a cop long enough to be able to tolerate this, and some others weren't. He said it did break some people. He said he said he lost a lot of his relationships in life just to get through that.
And
So
what
it
about
took a toll on him, but mentally he was able to get through it. And it just, out of pure spite, it just pissed him off so bad that he just stuck with it at the cost of other things in his life.
And now I don't really know a lot of the details surrounding the events. So was the BTK killer, was he found way later, like way after the crimes, after the case had gone cold, or was your guy actively participating in getting him taken in?
He said he was in it early on and he didn't get to see the guy come to justice. So my assumption is that it was some time. And that's why he's coming to us. He's like, I really wanted to get that son of a bitch. um, yeah.
And now, across lifetimes, were these individuals that joined us tonight, were they doing this type of work? Have they been doing this type of work for a long time, through lifetimes, or not? And if so, what draws you to that life? Because obviously, all three of us, we are not hunting down maniacal killers. Like, that's a different level of warrior, and I respect it.
He says it's justice. Justice has been many lifetimes. It has been justice as the cause of him being here. And he said that he had to take a break from justice after that
Oh, what about you?
because he couldn't find it.
Yeah, yeah. My guy says he more did it in the past for like the thrill of it. It's almost like he's like an adrenaline type soul. And after going through that, he said it brought a different like seriousness over all of this and it made him look at life different. And it almost feels like he didn't want to do that anymore. And it changed him. It changed him with his kids too.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
my guy said he retired because of this case. Like he still works after the case went cold, and he couldn't get it out of his mind. And he kind of went into an early retirement because it was just he couldn't shake it.
Ooh, I want to bring my guide said there's an opportunity here to discuss something, so I want to throw this out here. Why is there an addictive aspect to when you brush up against evil like that? I just heard morbid curiosity, and morbid obviously means death, a deathly curiosity.
Yeah, like curiosity and trying to understand.
Yeah, I get things sometimes in feelings, and it's just the feeling of this very foreign feeling. And that brush up against that, it's just like it's almost as if you instantly become obsessed with like, what was that?
Yeah.
My guy keeps telling me, look at the picture, so I'm doing that while we're
Yeah,
talking.
please. And so, oh, this is so fun. This is so cool. Okay, and so when the question that's being asked now, for the sake of information, I guess really is, as we feel around the energy of the BTK, obviously we don't give these energies platforms, but we have to acknowledge that at some point there would have been an attachment, because when you fracture your soul by a high crime, you're essentially almost inviting it in. It's really, I mean, that's a challenging thing to undo. So would we make argument that there was a spiritual component to this, or no?
You're gonna have to ask that question again. I've got so much background noise I couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. No, I was saying, do you think that can you feel if there was a spiritual component to the BTK killer? What are you feeling, Danica?
Yeah, that's what I was feeling in the beginning when he wasn't right in the head. It feels like it's not all him. It feels disconnected. Almost like there's this darkness that's taking over him, and then there's glimpses of him, but he's not the same. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes. Yes.
Getting the feeling of compulsion after that first one, as if you couldn't stop. Like that first one satisfied such um a hunger that he could not stop.
And I feel very strongly, I don't really even have to ask, I feel very strongly that this was from other lifetimes, where the taking of life has been almost a craft, is what they just said. Ugh, what a terrible craft. Sort of in a similar pattern would be a gentleman who was the Zodiac Killer. Do you know who that is, Danica? See, I love this. And
Nope.
Melissa, you do. All I'll say about it is I used to live up in New England when I was younger, and my family would always watch America's Most Wanted, which is the worst show ever for a young child because they're still wanted. Like you get all the
I
details,
remember that.
and then and then they say, "Please call us to help us go solve this." And so at the time, I had my coasts confused. So we're here on the seashore, basically, and they're saying that the Zodiac Killer is out killing. And so I felt for sure that the person that was going to murder me was the Zodiac Killer, because I didn't realize it was on the wrong coast.
Talk about nightmares.
Well, but it was, and I don't even really remember the details of what he was up to, but very similar in strangeness. I'm curious, Melissa, did your cop have an awareness of the Zodiac Killer?
Yeah, he said he had heard about it. And he's kind of conveying the feeling of like researching, like frantic kind of researching. Like I want to figure out, like I want to anything related to this that could give me some clues. I want to find out about. Because if it, yeah, he said, but it wasn't anything that helped me. It was just part of this obsession that I was going through.
Let's try to bring forward, and we're going to thank the energies that joined us. Let's try to bring forward some individuals who would have worked on the Zodiac case that would have been close with that situation, because it wasn't so violent. My feeling was there was more of a psychological component, but I don't know why I'm feeling that.
Yeah, I'm hearing games, like mind games.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it was either BTK or whoever was writing coded messages. That was
So
it.
Mm.
yeah, and I do know about the Zodiac Killer. So yeah, he definitely
Okay.
it was ciphers, and we haven't even been able to break all of them the last time I looked into it. And I don't think he's ever been identified. I don't think we have that one.
I do feel recently, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Let me check. I could be wrong. Um,
Because I remember watching a documentary where they had some possibilities. Um, And then the team that did that documentary just had to hand over all of their evidence, and then I never heard of it after that. So that was years
No.
ago.
Oh my God, he's not been found. Oh my God, I only picked these because I thought that they had been.
Yeah, no, that one, I mean, like I said, that's not psychic. That's, I remember
Right.
watching that. But they did find some people that were potential suspects. But my question would be, why did we never hear anything? And I'm getting that there's a cover up on that one.
I feel very weird right now about this because it is like there's layers here.
Yes.
And he's protected blood, is what I just heard. They're tying the son of Sam to him. They're saying that these are cover up stories and they are cult related and they are covering up their sacrifices.
So I'm hearing both of those suspects that came up in the investigation. They had the real one, but they couldn't do anything about it. Like it was either not enough evidence, or the evidence was withheld for the purpose of covering it up.
I heard visits in the night. I heard that people working on it got visits in the night. That there would have been something telling them to lay off of it. What are you feeling, Danica?
Yeah, that's so what she was saying, that it's like there's a guy here and he's like angry because they have evidence, but it's like somebody above him is telling him no to stop. Like,
Let's feel out what was
yeah,
the point of the cipher, because to me they're showing me that was the fireworks. That was supposed to be drawing attention.
So that one guy was crazy smart, arrogant, obviously,
Very
and
optimistic,
enjoyed playing games.
strong in math. Almost OCD. Very, very, very sexually repressed and gay. Like I feel almost violently mad about myself. Like that's a component. Or he's violently mad at what happened to him.
I'm definitely picking up the violent part. I'm trying to suss out, like,
There's a cold. It's the he has the worst. I just heard kind of like he has the worst kind of anger because it's ice cold.
yeah.
yes.
But it's so in every single. Like I feel like I can't even walk through the grocery store without wanting to physically demean and get enraged. Like it's
That's,
like a
I'm hearing
thing.
rage. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's but I can smile and
Yes.
I can say thank you and be normal. Ugh. Okay. I'm gonna connect to my guides and see what they're saying. 1 second. They're speaking kind of on where there's darkness, there's light. And my guides are sort of drawing us a little bit to the reality where wherever there are gravity wells of darkness, like what are inside of these people's souls, essentially, they activate people around them. And so there is use for them. and that's something that they're kind of saying, just because it's not like I was kind of wigging out and my main guide was sort of like, calm down. There's a purpose here. Like, there's a role. It's the duality that we've chosen.
And I'm getting the not just the periphery people that become entangled with them, becoming more of the light, but it was actual light energies that would interrupt his processes. So there would have been many more, had not the light been really following these.
I want to know what your guides say because I'm going to ask a very specific question. Were all of his victims contracted or no?
Yes.
I'm hearing no.
Okay, and let's feel that out. Danica, who are you getting it through your guides? Where are you getting the no from?
I'm hearing from my guides he took detours.
And Melissa, what are you feeling or hearing?
Yeah, there were detours. I'm getting that, yeah, there were detours, and that this was not, if there was a prearranged list, these were not in the prearranged list.
Mm-hmm.
However, it was that soul experience for the victims was something that had that their free will played a part.
Yes. I know what you're okay. I'm gonna separate the because they were pulling up. Yes, we're gonna go into this real fast. So there's the contract of I know your soul, like I know you, and we've decided we're gonna do this, right? There were those that had done that with him. There are also certain souls that they're showing me wanted to kiss the darkness, is what they're saying. And that would have made it technically in the contracts. So that's one of the reasons why because you're picking up on, no, he went off the list. He definitely, well, I say he, but it wasn't just a he, right? It was a multitude of people. And they were doing what they were doing. So there is the one individual, but there is also, he was serving some people. He was a lapdog. They're using that word very demeaningly, and I love that. He was a useful, I just heard a useful fool. And we know he's not a fool. We know he's very smart. So why are they saying useful fool?
They let him think that it was his show.
And they said they would they would, it's like taking a rabid dog and they would just point him.
Yeah, because they, I'm very politically minded. They keep likening him to Trump.
Interesting. Like that he thinks he's in control. Oh,
Like, you are just a pawn. You don't even know.
yeah. You're not, yeah. Um, so let's bring in energies of the other side who would have been angelically protected. Energies that even if they didn't work on these cases, they would have worked on cases of this. They would have been those guided and allowed to execute justice. And let's still be around this time frame because there was so much going on back then. You could get away with it so much easier back then. I'm feeling there's a waitress. And I feel like either she was the type to be able to psychically communicate to women. It's like in a diner. And it's almost like that she would have, she wouldn't have known that she had these gifts. Let me see what she's saying. But she said, I knew the creeps. She said, I could get the message out who the creeps were. And it almost feels like that it would have been on an interstate. It would have been somewhere where people would have been through quickly. And she protected, somehow she was able to, through her energy, she was able to sour connections that needed to be soured. That's so interesting. She's showing me angels on her shoulders, almost like someone's hands on her shoulders. So she's admitting, she's saying this wasn't all me. And it's almost like this interstate or whatever this place, it was on a boundary territory. So but territory not like in a spiritual way. It was on a boundary territory. Or an
I'm getting too
unclaimed.
that it was not just like she was psychically putting out the signal, that she actively like wrote down license plate numbers. Like when she thought that there was something going on, that like she wanted some kind of a tag for them.
She's so she's what you would call it. She said this word wasn't really a thing or safe back then, but she almost has a butchness to her. She's almost like fearless. Like I feel like she's just a fearless woman. Like it would just not even a thing. And I feel she would have just called everyone baby. She's not one to mess with. I'm trying to see if she had kids. She's indicating that she had seen death in people's eyes. She said she had seen people that she knows they had taken life. She's bringing me to she was gifted with a certain sight. Danica, do you feel anybody, not necessarily my girl, but anybody coming in for you?
No, there is a lady here that worked in the justice system,
Mm-hmm.
and she's saying back then it was a lot harder to get them, is what she's saying. But she helped move things along, like to where it's better. She helped it move along the justice system, is what she's saying.
In what way? We're gonna ask her to come forward a little bit.
So that they were able to use things to get the guys that they weren't able to use before her.
Was she tweaking things in the back? Was it legal or illegal?
I'm hearing questionable.
Yes, I feel that too. I was wondering if she would admit it.
Yeah,
Um, and what makes her feel that there was a gift involved? What makes her feel that she was angelically led?
because things got approved that normally wouldn't have been approved.
Just by her energy being on it?
Hmm. By
Mm.
her energy that she put towards it.
Yeah, I was thinking manifestation. That
Hmm.
that was part, and she may not have even realized what she was doing, but that angelic nature around her was amplifying that.
And Melissa, have you gotten in touch with anybody?
No, so when we first looked for somebody, my guide was like, let me pull in a guide for you, one of the guides that worked.
Yes.
And so that's where he was going with it. And then I was like, well, let's try and find somebody that was like first degree. Um, and then I got wrapped up in reading the ones that y'all were coming through with. Let me see. He's saying that there were guides who started with the force that originally worked the case, that worked with the ones down the road. So, like, not like it was one spirit guide that stuck with them, but it was a team of spirit guides that followed people who were involved with the case.
Mm. I just heard a specialized task force.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So let's
And I think
bring
that's what he was trying to point out to me, my guide, is that concept, which I had never considered before, of um, specialized forces on the other side.
well, and I knew for some reason I knew guides were going to be highlighted tonight, and this must be how. Because let's go into that. Let's discuss with our own guides. What are the different natures of these task force? Obviously, we have those that would just try to keep people alive, fighting against the dark in that way, in the investigatory way. And then I'm sure there would be energies that would just, like you said, Danica, make it harder for them to execute. Maybe snack. I almost see them like snack, like somebody would hit their head on the corner of something because they just kind of gotten that push or something, or lack of awareness, and that would be like they would orchestrate these little mistakes. Almost the opposite of a cleanup crew, almost like a planting crew. Like,
I'm getting two sides of that because yes, there were if we want to liken it to a Navy SEAL team, there were the ones who were out there to go and make life rough for the ones that to interfere with the plans, the darker plans, interfere with that. But the nature of those guides training was specialized such that it likened it to a SEAL team. Like they had to learn how to work with those um, darker energies and to navigate through that system. And then there were a faction of these guides that worked on transmuting the negativity that the victims had and the victims' families had. So it was like a recovery team, so to speak.
hmm what do you feel, Danica?
Yeah, it's a training on the other side, how to learn how to deal with these negative energies. It does feel that way, like it's a specialized training.
And
And he
we would consider them guides, or where does the line stop between being a guideship role and an angelic role? Or are they one and the same?
This is a fine line because I'm
Yeah,
getting to it was not, it didn't even end at like transmuting this grief, which had been more of an angelic thing. It was healing the energy of where the murders occurred.
That's what I felt. Yes, I
Yeah.
felt there's a desecration that occurs and you have to reconsecrate the land somehow. But you can't do it. You would have to
And it
get
was
other people on board with it.
even to the level of working with the earth spirits to that level. Like that, yeah, like it is and they said this is an ongoing thing. It's always been an ongoing. I mean, humans are humans, and this happens, and this is how it works. It's the behind the scenes that nobody really picks up on when we talk about spirit guides, because we
Oh.
think of them in the robes and, oh yes, we know everything, and that's my guide making fun of
And
himself.
I
But
almost heard somebody say, I just heard someone say, what's wrong with the robes?
he can, okay, let me tell you. So my guide, because he has a sense of humor, I saw him in the robes and he's like, fine, this is what you want. And so he's been asking me, he's like, I want some new clothes. So I'm like, okay, I give him I give him a leather jacket and dark jeans and a shirt, and he's like, I want the sunglasses. So he's a
But,
little bit vague.
oh, I love it though.
That's
Oh my
funny.
God.
That is funny.
Well, we recognize as well that there are certain guides that we probably access when we're reading, right? That we don't have for our regular day life. Those would also be trained in a specific way. They would be to be one would be a higher echelon. Um, I want to see if there's anything else they want to say about that. We're going to kind of shift into the missing persons component here. When I was doing my training with Terry, I really thought that one thing I wanted to be involved with was finding missing people. And very quickly through training, I realized I did not want anything to do with that at all. I don't have the heart for it. I don't really think I have you usually need to be very gifted in sight, which is my lowest capability. And, but what broke my heart was two things. At the time that I was training, the Gabby Petito case was going on.
I
And,
don't remember that one.
well,
That
then let's
is either.
dive in. So, first, just with that name, I want you to kind of investigate how you feel, what you feel, because this is also the case I trained on.
Was she pregnant?
I would not know that, but we can try to ask her.
No, there was another case that I was thinking of, and I couldn't remember if that was Gabby Petito. So I think it's just a different case.
What do you feel, Danica?
I hmm, this is. I feel a younger woman. I don't know. I'm seeing a younger woman with like shorter brown hair, darker brown hair. She's
What
showing
were
me
your
like a knit skirt.
And now, was she part of this missing persons, or what's her relationship with Gabby Petito, or any of this?
I'm hearing friend.
Mm-hmm. And is she on the other side?
Yes.
Did she pass of natural causes, or was she involved somehow?
She's telling me she was in an accident.
Okay. And first of all, thank you for showing up for this, especially because I know this is a unique thing that we're doing. Can we ask her what was Gabby Petito? What was she like?
I'm hearing she was the life of the party.
Hmm. And when she went missing, what did everyone that knew her think? What was the vibe?
She's saying it brought I don't know, it's almost like the high energy that was always around went to like just silence.
That's what I was picking up on too. It was almost as if the the air was like the air was still, like
Yeah,
the vacuum, like she was no there anymore.
yeah.
And what was there anything that they thought she was involved in?
She's saying she was involved in a lot of things. Like I'm seeing like parties and drugs and like she was just around everything, like all over. She was everywhere.
And does she see Gabby over on that side with her?
She's telling me she hasn't made it here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not getting that she was over there.
And what about her boyfriend? What does she say about the boyfriend?
I'm hearing slimy son of a bitch.
Yeah, like he's responsible.
And do they find him on that side?
She's saying if I run into him, I'm gonna kill him.
My feeling was that um they know that he's there, but they don't have contact. Like,
It's like they can't reach him.
right, yes.
Yeah,
But they know he's there.
but they can't. And
Right.
yeah,
But they
Yeah.
don't find her there.
mm-mm. But it doesn't feel like she's here either. It's almost like she feels like she's in between somewhere.
That see, I was thinking like the soul is in rehab, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it feels like.
But he's not.
Same for him. Like it is intensive treatment for the soul.
So I wasn't trying to, but I accidentally connected with her right when we were starting to talk about this. And I was hearing they lied. They were. I heard her saying they lied to me, and I heard her say, "Of course they did." And she's almost like, "Of course they would." And I don't know if that. I don't really feel like this like as active energy. It almost feels like if you were to reach like a phone, like to try and call, this would be like her in like that's what I'm getting almost like a. But it's almost and she is blaming him. And she's saying it wasn't supposed to be like this. I agreed to a certain thing. It wasn't supposed to be like this. And it feels she thought she was going to get in the club. She thought that this was all like a fun that there's something that was there's some event that at the end of the event she was supposed to A still be alive and B that would be her initiation in.
That's what I just heard was initiation. Yeah. I heard that and it feels like he took it too far. Like yeah. It's
And
like,
she's basically saying she's almost just saying like that she should have known,
Yeah, what
which
I
isn't
was
the case.
feeling is that it was like a hazing for her and fun for everybody else, and it got out of hand.
yeah, it feels
So
like
then
the energy was so much that he couldn't help himself. He just kept going.
and dang, they're showing me like what would happen in like a New York style gang. You have to get jumped in. It's something like that, but there's a sexual component and there's a record of it and people enjoy it.
I definitely picked up on the sexual component.
So then this is the last time I touched this topic, and this was 5 years ago, whatever. And Terry connected with his energy when he was still living. Of course, as we started this conversation, I knew I think, I don't know, well, he's dead, we know that, but the cry that she had picked up on was, someone please help me. Someone please help me. So we move forward in time. Her body gets found, all this stuff gets found, but no one can find any trace of like the video that I believe there is. And it got tracked back to the parents, and the parents basically would not say anything. His van was found there. So I'm curious, what how did he wind up on the other side? Because he would have been in the club theoretically. She just said they always take care of the loose ends, whoever they is.
I'm not sure if I understand right. So if the question is why is he on the other side, as
Yeah.
in
Like, how did
like
that happen? That shouldn't have been part of the plan.
okay, I can get clarification. Okay. To keep his mouth shut.
And he wasn't, that wasn't his life to take.
No, and there's almost what I feel like is almost this little bit of remorse, like he knew that end result was not what he wanted. Something happened, like Danica said, he couldn't stop. Something got out of control, out of his hands. That was not what he wanted to happen, but he was still responsible. I mean, he was part of that.
When I was asking why are they in a secluded area, almost what I would call like a sacred place, they were showing that it's delicate work, and they were imagining like a giant tapestry. And imagine that in that giant tapestry of thousands of threads, there's like 20 that are putrefied. And you have to go through and delicately remove the putrefaction if that is their wish, which it is their wish. They got in over their heads. They brushed against something very dark that was much, much more above their pay grade. So that's the process right now. This was a pretty recent passing too. I think it's only been 5-6 years. But I believe he passed soon after her, not long after her. And I'm getting a pain in my side. It almost feels like, I want to say backstabbed, but I feel like he almost would have been stabbed. So I'm going to try to clear that energy, or she would have been stabbed. Someone got stabbed.
I think
We'll
it
put it
was
that way.
him.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it was him. So I'm going to clear and ground that. You know, within missing persons, one thing, Melissa, you had said you had questioned was the Indigenous people going missing. So let's switch gears a little bit and kind of trail that down. Why would there be Indigenous children and women missing specifically? We're going to ask our guides, or we can speak with one if one comes through. What do you feel, Danica?
I'm hearing sacred bloodlines.
And what about the bloodline is special? What makes it sacred?
Hearing the actual blood,
If we
like the
trace,
DNA.
and what do you feel, Melissa?
Yeah, there's a female that just showed up, was just saying they're using us, and I was trying to get more information on that, but I do feel like it was along the lines of what Danica's saying, is that it wasn't as simple as a sex crime. It wasn't. It goes
It's breeding.
beyond that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hearing lineage. Like, yeah.
What about their lineage would be different than those that are damaging them? I realize it's the blood, but I'm trying to see what they say about why would that be unique enough to commit high crimes. I just heard it's older. It's of a different,
I'm hearing safe.
unfiltered.
I'm hearing sacred quality.
That's where I'm going with it too, and I was trying to figure out like what's the end game, and I'm getting more pulled towards okay, we've talked in the past about the skinwalkers and how that is a choice, and I'm almost feeling as if what's going on here is a manufactured army, so to speak. Like they are being used in sort of that purpose.
It's almost like what they're made of is so rare. It's a sacred quality, like a high quality of.
What would be there's a quality, there's an aspect, I'm trying to remember the name and I can't. And they're a high concentration and they're in Spain. What are they called? I don't know, but it's weird. I'll tell you about that off air.
I'm just so they're just continuing this. They're saying like it is not by chance that you are seeing it's more females. It is because of the nature of not just the bloodline, but the openness of the female in terms of like those that are not just, it's not just like psychic ability, it is their ability. The being female seems to have a higher likelihood of this desirable thing that they want.
Well, we understand that usually when random families get their households become randomly haunted for a little bit and then it goes away randomly as well, they usually wind up with a daughter that's around puberty age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that creation quality.
Yes.
And then on top of that, we're natural receivers. So
Yeah.
imagine overlaying a dark energy. A masculine energy kind of fights to the death, and a female energy will surrender.
And yes, and I think that that's what's going on. That's where it's almost as if it is a soul taken hostage. It's not about the physical body.
And well, it is in some ways because, like we said, there is a very sought after aspect with the physical blood, but there is
Right.
um
But not about like sex trafficking.
right,
Yeah.
they would use things like that to break the soul, but that would not be. In fact, they would almost be guarded in a very specific way. Now, in general, with because my guides are kind of clarifying, they're saying yes, that these indigenous energies have more of it, like that there's a higher percentage or whatever you would say, but they're actually saying that there is that it's not just indigenous, that there would actually be very bright-eyed individuals, is the word I just heard. Very bright-eyed individuals who would be sought for the exact same thing, but it's still about lineage.
I'm also getting to that there, and I've never shaken the fact of the choice having like if you had a pool of candidates that you wanted, they're going to go for the disadvantaged or those who were not going to get looked for.
Yes.
And so they are targeted for that just as much as they are for the qualities that they have.
So let's now engage with sort of the angelic energies that would be combating this activity. Excuse me. Angelics or guided or guides. I just heard from my team or a guide that's nearby. I think it's my team. Saying this is old work. And when he says old, he means ancient. This is an ancient thing. It has
Yeah.
always happened.
Yeah. I'm hearing it's gone on for a long time.
Yeah, I'm getting that these are like I've not really connected with angels that I've been aware of, but this feels very long established, um, as if it's got its own phylum, like angel, but that is just so long been dedicated for this.
You know, they're I'm getting kind of a lecture on prayer. They're saying, you know, we've gotten really used to making fun of when people say thoughts and prayers towards people, but they're kind of saying, you know, that does help because that allows, there's something about when we do that, we enact a certain spiritual law. It's almost like we allow permission into that topic or into, it gives them dominion in a way that
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't have. So there's, because my question internally was, how can we aid you guys in this? And they're saying, well, you can do that thing that y'all think is so goofy, basically, which is interesting. I kind of feel chastised because I'm the first person who used to make fun of like thoughts and prayer, like because people say it so
Well, it becomes
meaninglessly.
flippant. It's like
Yes,
you don't believe in what you're saying. You're
right.
just like brushing it aside. That's why I get mad.
Yeah,
Actually put some thought to it.
but I can't say that. I can't tell you the last time I sat and prayed about something or pray or wished for good outcomes.
I think
Or
it's your definition of prayer, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we seek out the highest good every day.
true, but this is almost like sending out. It's like when I sent that beacon with your daughter, and now I sometimes feel her brush against me now and then, right?
Yeah,
And with both of you, actually, I've worked with both your daughters. Um, they're saying that beacon that you're sending with people that you love, you can literally send that beacon out into like these missing persons cases. This is because that is we're essentially saying you can use an iota of our energy
right.
to gain dominion there, and
Yeah.
I like that. I haven't thought about that in a while, and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because I do it by permission with people I love, but they're saying it doesn't have to just be that. Interesting. This feels so rudimentary, but now that they're showing me like we create like webbings. It is one of the reasons they're saying for whatever you believe about Christians or the Muslim faith, they're saying their prayers do a lot, and I think that's interesting.
It's very interesting that you're bringing this up because this was actually something that came to me the other day too, was about permission, asking or giving them permission to step in, and take care of what needs to be taken care of for everybody's highest good. And it's been interesting, some of the topics tonight, how it all comes back to oneness, that, everything is connected, everything on the other side, here, everywhere. It's all connected.
Well, and I've shared this before, but about when Terry's son went to do a clearing on a bar, and the bar owner was getting cuts and was it looked like demonic activity. And when he went in there, he was stopped by angelic energies, and they said, "You have no dominion here. There's not shit you can do, and also this is us." So they can really represent themselves aggressively when they have permission to. So it's like that's a completely different side of the angelics too. They're the territory fighters. Oh my God! I just heard they are some of the strongest dream weavers because they will drive people crazy. Like they will if somebody is bold and evil, they'll try to unwire them here. Ooh, I just got fucking
Wow.
goosebumps.
Wow.
They're saying they're showing almost like this is what we do. This is what we do. Like because we sit there and think that the fourth dimension. Well, I can sometimes sit there because I have very negative dreams sometimes, especially now that I've stopped smoking weed. Dreams every night. Um, but they're saying they also dream like the dark ones, like the ones that are they're like they have to do it too. That's why they try to not.
So
They- mm,
the last podcast that we did when we were talking, I remember having like this darker entity just kind of come in and interject, and
yeah,
I I had some really disturbing dreams, and the funny thing was the content of it should have and it was disturbing, but it was easy for me to dismiss it because I first off knew that that is not of me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it happened in such close proximity to that exposure. And then also my guide telling me we muted that. It was going to be a lot worse. But it was wild and yeah.
It's so weird because Terry had a very similar experience recently. She said that she had a crazy, not like her, hedonistic dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that she basically was like, that was not my dream. I don't know whose that was for, because she didn't feel that she was like in the front seat of the dream, like the dreamer, but she was definitely taken there.
Yes.
And when I first started this work, the only reason I started to talk to Terry at all and train with her was because I was living in an apartment and I was having conversations that were always really intense when I'd be washing dishes or putting stuff away. And it would be like lovers' quarrels, or it would be like, you just don't understand me. And I would be like playing both sides. And then finally, and I thought I was just in my head experiencing things. And then finally, I had a conversation with my 14-year-old black son that I don't have, saying, you cannot act this way. The laws are not the same for us. And that's when I was like, now I'm just losing my mind because I'm not black. I don't have a black son. I couldn't be, because I had kind of convinced myself I was role playing conversations that maybe one day I would need to have. Later on, I was told that my energy is so vast that I was standing by, equal balancing as these conversations were happening because they were always intense. So when you said what you just said, and when Terry said what she said, imagine that maybe we are acting as a muting device for someone else. Because if Terry isn't the dreamer, why would she be called there and why would she consent to go? Unless it was to share the burden of the experience. Because that's how we.
That makes sense to me because it involved um, somebody who's close to me and a
Mm,
traumatic event that had
mm.
happened. So,
And
yeah.
also, we recognize time isn't real. So sometimes we can imagine that you meet somebody who's been raped. And then because of you meeting them, you, in your dream state, go in that place, share some of that, and then now she won't know why, but suddenly either she remembers less or suddenly she's feeling a little bit stronger. And that would be considered quantum healing.
Yes.
We're busy bees, man. We got a lot. We're busy in our dreams. We're busy in our waking spirit. Like, but I wouldn't want to be anything else.
Right.
Like when we get together and do this stuff, it validates me. It's like we're not crazy because we're also right on the fucking ball every time. And B, it's like, oh God, it's not so lonely. There, we can talk about how this insane. Well, I'll tell you guys this real fast, and then we can go into the questions about next year. I have had a proposition, most of us have by now, by the dark side. It was in the time where I was deep diving, not buying in, but I love a good conspiracy, deep diving into the QAnon thing and the Pizzagate thing and all that. And I was having a very um, sadomasochistic dream, which, if you kind of know me, I'm kind of into that, right? And so that's how the dream's playing out. And I'm enslaved. And Hillary Clinton comes to the bars of my thing, and she's basically saying, you can join us, like, please. And I can remember this like the back of my hand. It was not a normal dream, but it was her, which I think is so funny. And it was a coaxing, and I remember feeling offended and like laughing, and I remember saying to her, I'll stay in these cages all day, this is my shit, I love this. And immediately, as soon as I did that, I took over lucidity, and I just kept it a dream. It just was what it was. But it was the strangeness of, they don't always know how to target you. There is a blind, like, we sit there and think they're so smart, but they took me into a place that I'm unfortunately overly comfortable with, and has been desensitized to me. So then when that was the proposition, I knew it was of a soul level. It was just funny. And I haven't, I was visited one more again, and that wasn't as funny. But, you know, we've been doing, I just heard, we've been doing this for a while. They try every lifetime. Like this is not. They try every lifetime. Um. All right, let's get into the year. So, and we're gonna kind of spice this up because the way that my guides are telling me to do this is very interesting. Because they want me to scramble the months. So, we're going to be talking about next month and getting a feel for it. But I'm going to essentially, all right, what about November next year? November 2026. What do you feel? And this is for the general collective. This is not necessarily for us. I just heard worry, but warmth.
I heard fireworks.
I was just getting emotions of the like the challenges had peaked by that point, and it's on a recovery side.
Yeah, when I heard the worry and warmth, they brought me to like the joining of hands, which would be the warmth in family. It almost feels like if you're having significant issues within your family, there is some respite from that. So I feel like if you're really going through estrangement, things like that, they're saying the end of the year is going to bring. There's some cycles that you'll be able to revisit, and you'll have another option, whatever that means, whoever that's for. You'll have another chance to redecide what you've already chosen regarding these things. So there's that, but I also feel for the more material aspects of life, there's still worry. It's almost like everyone's still tight-fisted. I do feel that financially there's not really been a let up on some of our duress by this point yet. Um, so if we could pick 3 words for November for the collective, recovery, I'd say 1. What about you, Danica?
I'm feeling different. I'm feeling like it's an exciting time for some people to like gear up for a new start.
Love it. Exciting. And what about you, Melissa?
Yeah, I'm still getting, and it might be just for me, but I'm getting like a recovery. Yeah, it's the rest.
I'm going to put rest as well. Rest because I do feel there is a gearing up of something. No, I just heard no rest for the wicked, but in this sense, a little bit for us. We're not the wicked. Okay, June. I just heard shrouded in mystery. Shrouded in, what's that mean? Shrouded in mystery. The tells are not out yet. What does that mean? The tells are not out yet.
I was just brought to water and shown like lots of emotions coming out.
Spilling over, I just heard. Emotions spilling over. Um, it feels like everyone's really separated right now. It feels like everyone's fighting like politically, or it's almost kind of how they're showing me that energy of right when Charlie Kirk died. They're showing me like that way that everyone was sort of at each other's throats. They're kind of indicating that there's something, there's confusion. No one knows what's going on, and it's making us hemorrhage emotions.
Yeah, I'm
I
showing
think
like,
it's,
yeah,
I feel like it's tied to the stock market. Like I see a lot of like rapid money changing hands, which makes me feel like a stock market kind of an issue.
Would it be in the Bitcoin spaces,
Um,
or in the more rudimentary like S&P?
I think it's more in not Bitcoin.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm hearing turbulent water overseas.
I just heard you're in the thick of it. I also heard keep them close if you can. Keep them close if you can. Well, my
I'm
the
saying
go ahead.
it's not a time for travel.
Okay. All right, let's jump to March. I just heard lines are being drawn.
I heard connect with nature.
Yeah, I'm getting a high nature vibe.
Yeah.
Let's explore that. Why nature? Well, it's spring, so that would be one reason. Spring's coming back.
But it feels like you need the connection with nature to bring some calm before the storm.
Yes. Yeah,
Grounding.
grounding. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Balance, recalibration. But I also
But
feel like
it does feel like a get ready.
but it feels almost like everyone's tired too right now. It's almost like we're gonna have to hit January then, because January is what is connecting to March right now. I can't spell January. January. I just heard the fuse is lit. Fuse is lit.
Yeah, and again, March to me feels like a get grounded, get ready.
Get ready.
Something's going on.
In January, because it's like everybody, they're showing me people like dusting off. And I said, dusting off from what? And they said January.
Yeah, I'm seeing a burning house, like a house on fire for January.
We're getting a lot of fire, house on fire. Is this going to be stateside or international?
I think it's both.
Yep, that's
I
what
think
I'm
it's both,
feeling.
but I think ours is going to be in the major cities. I don't feel that it's going to be everywhere. And I heard putting on a show.
I'm showing burning houses being set in like specific areas around the world.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That it feels infiltrated, or it feels like it's gonna be done and then disguised.
I'm feeling like that's a metaphysical like fire, like more like a focused attack on institutions. So not necessarily an actual like arson. It is
I feel you, but you're on it. They're saying it will be an attack on our spirit, but there will be physical harm done. That's going to be necessary for us to become afraid.
yeah, physical harm. Yes, just it's not like for me, such a literal person, and so we see houses on fire and they're like, no, you're too literal, Melissa.
But I feel like it's going to be riots. I feel like it's going to be organized riots. It's going to be
Yes.
something like that.
Yes. It is a fighting back. Like,
But it's not. Well, for some reason, they just showed me the mayor of New York, the new one. They're saying he's not who he appears to be. I'm going to not go down a very political path right now. I'm going to cut that one off. Thank you. But they are highlighting. They're saying the apple. They're saying there's going to be a bite out of the apple,
but I do think it's a political thing.
and it feels like New York has something to do with it, because they just showed. They said it literally was like they're saying a bite will be taken out of the apple, and that's New York, right? Because it's not the IT company. They're not showing me that. This is going to be in the beginning of the end of January. They said off to the races, so we'll probably see this a little bit early. They're saying the advice for this event or these events or the fuse being lit. They're saying they're kind of trying to, because I'm getting a little bit worried, and they're like they're always lighting these fuses. They're saying like this is what they do. This is just like we go to vote. They start these things. It's like we have these systems. They're saying like so the don't buy in. They said there's a much bigger story than what you'll see. In other words, like the damage will be less than what's being reported. Like there's all these things that are going to be meant to make our emotions keep spilling all year. They want us. They're saying they're saying worry about those that are close around you. I said the bigger picture isn't what you can see. Oh, thank you. They said you don't have the tools to see the bigger picture. And honestly, thank God, because that sounds really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, September. Let's jump down into the timeline again. Oh, compared to January, it feels kind of nice. I
Yeah, I
just want to sit
know.
here.
Yeah.
I just want to sit here.
I just went to like this really green, like foresty, lush place.
Okay.
I'm hearing the word serene.
I've just kind of felt hopeful. It's almost like there's a return of spirits.
It feels like being surrounded by like your highest good tribe is what it feels like to me.
And they're kind of saying, we're there. My guide was saying, humanity is a stubborn spirit. Like we don't endure bad news before we just stop caring and start partying. It's almost like that energy. It's like not that anything has really changed. It's almost like we all checked out of the news cycle or something. It's just like we reclaimed energy somehow. We took back something. Let's feel what that is. I just got the message that the whole year is going to feel really fast. It's going to feel like a really fast year.
I'm hearing that a lot of people in September are going to disconnect from all the chaos.
Yes. I love to hear that. Yeah, it's just like we got fed up. I feel it's almost like if I was the human collective, it's almost like, yeah, and that's all we've been getting all year. Like that energy. Let's jump to July. We are getting angry. Like not the ones that are doing like it feels like we're kind of getting ready to stand back up or fight or go against it. It's almost like we're not there. We're not to the point where things are feeling better. but I feel almost like well, they just said it's a dividing month. They said it's a dividing time. It's a period where you're going to decide if you're going to be weakened entirely. Because they're showing some people. It's kind of weird, but they're saying some people crying into urns and then holding up the urn to look at their tears, and some people aren't doing that. It's kind of like it's like you're going to be making a choice what you believe this is all worth. The evaluation of something.
Yeah, I'm feeling a divide, like in a societal sort of way.
Yes. And it's that, well, the rude thought that as my reception of that, looking at your tears, it's those that really enjoy being a victim. And then there are those that aren't going to really play into that. So it's kind of like, but it's going to separate humanity. So we can't go with the flow of that. Just because somebody over there doesn't want to be strong, it does, we should try to make sure we don't allow that divide into our heart, is what I'm feeling. Even though it's annoying. Like, that's my least favorite type of person. But on some level, that is their only place of strength that they can find. They just said this is going to have to do with your readings, too. We're going to have empathy. We're going to have to really have empathy. By the way, that's so funny. Is July, that's what we're on right now, right?
July.
Yeah. Isn't that the middle of the year, too? I just realized that. July. Empathy. Empathy held on the front line, which we are. I heard someone say, that's y'all. That's you. Like I did, because I'm bad at that sometimes. I need to work on that. All right, let's go February. I just feel fear. I heard fear in February.
I heard hoarding money.
Like that's what we should do, or that's what people are
That
doing?
people are such in fear that they're like, it's like a scarcity thing going on in February.
The instability.
Yeah.
As a result of January? Or is that still bleeding? I feel it's still bleeding in.
Bleeding over.
Yeah, we're not done yet. I just heard not done yet. On the good note, though, what's really funny is I feel that the net of this year is going to be positive for our collective, and that is not the intention. But it does benefit us. For some reason, it wakes certain people up. It's very fast paced. Manifestation happens very quickly next year. Identities are re-solidified next year. This has kind of been a breakdown. They're almost saying next year is a year of high choice.
Yeah, and that's what I've been getting from all of the podcasts that I've been listening to in the metaphysical side of things is that, yeah, that's what we're looking at.
I think that's why they're trying to do all this next year, is they don't want us working on ourselves. It's fascinating. Okay. April feels a little lighter.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's any
Mhm.
like major stuff going on.
Yeah, it's sort of they just played the Toby Keith song Me. Like, I just want to talk about me. It's almost like this is a good month for that. April is I'm going to put great month for self-discovery.
Yeah.
And I get to that's it, like being like you're just starting to get to early spring, and there's that little, that early spring, especially in the South, is like, oh yeah, we're finally like, it's just a
Feeling
happy. It's like a
ourselves.
little uplifting.
I heard sun's out, guns out.
That's it. I was being shown a big sun. Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, I love this.
We will still be having sunset around 5:30 at that point.
I mean, now I'm at the point where August, not your August, busy, just busy. The family unit's busy, which makes sense back to school, but just busy bees, just like a hum of busy bees.
It feels more like a serious month, I'm hearing the word protection.
Protection.
Like get your ducks in a row.
Not a great month for vacations. Not that most people do.
No, but I heard July was.
Okay. Vacations in July.
Yeah, because I was feeling June was not good either. But I'm getting that there's a lead up to a significant event.
So that
Yeah,
that
it
gearing
does feel that way. Like protect your families, protect yourself, get all your prepared, get all your ducks in a row. Like it's not a time for just goofing off or something in August.
Let's go to December.
Oh, it feels exhausted.
This December is going to feel like next December is going to feel like this one. Like it is like how much more can we take?
Mhm. Like you need to recoup. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm hearing. Yeah. Like I'm being shown like snuggled up in a cozy blanket by the
Yes,
fireplace.
I was feeling holding family close is very important, specifically family first. I do feel almost that there might be a generative element of some kind of health scare.
I was getting travel is going to be tough in December.
It does feel like just stay home.
Yeah, it feels it's not like it's they haven't made the decision yet, but if there was a decision to try and reenact some sort of like
I'm getting a fake scare.
yeah, they're still trying to figure out a way to tag us. That's what I'm feeling. It's like we're and they use the timelines like when we're usually going to get a cold, and they're going to every year continue to figure out how they're going to best do that. So I do feel some activity around that in December that would then kind of we'd feel it in 2027.
But the
So
thing is, I'm getting the feeling like it's not like putting this scare out there, there's no financial benefit. It actually damages the economy, but they are in it. Like the controlling people are something about that benefits them, but it doesn't benefit the country.
right, well, and I mean, shit, isn't that everything?
Right. Yes. That's why I'm saying it's more of the same.
I want to make sure. So we got January, February, March, April, May. What about May? May. I said, May, please be excused. Maybe like a dissociative element. Let's see why they're saying that. There might be a push. I feel like maybe there's a push to it's almost I almost feel like they're showing me influencers. They're showing it's almost like we get inundated with media or something to make us feel like we don't have enough.
I'm feeling like there's slipping like sneaky stuff in there.
Okay. Sneaky influences.
Yeah.
Like a control over the media sort of a thing.
But like
And maybe
sneaky. I'm being shown like a leprechaun, like hiding coins, like sneaky.
they're showing me, okay, not to go political, they're showing me again when you said sneaky like that, they're showing me the sneakiness that's going on with the TPUSA thing. They're saying like we're gonna continue. There's foolishness on the media. Like
Hmm.
nothing's foolishness. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Dang, did we get all of it? We
Okay,
started with
so we need to focus just for me. Let's focus on anything positive that's going to happen. A lot of doom and gloom.
well,
There's got to be some highlights.
I did feel when December is stay home and that, I did feel like it was a time to like reconnect with yourself as like your home.
well, also too. Please remember that we were reading the collective, and all three of us are very strange in consideration to the collective. We don't necessarily need to choose to engage. You know what I mean? Like just because the collective is feeling emotional spilling out, we probably won't be. Just like I think I'll speak for myself. Anytime there's a really big hiccup in the collective, I hit that speed bump about 2 months before, and it always happens that way. So if I'm suddenly like randomly seriously depressed, and I have to come into an upgrade, right after that, the whole collective starts doing weird shit. So
Yeah.
we
And
do
what,
get a different timeline than this.
well, my guide is saying is the good is that the old paradigm is crumbling. Like
Yeah,
that is what's going on. That's why there is so much turmoil, but that is also the good thing.
and the reality is we have a couple of years where there's going to be darkness before the dawn. We know that. So, maybe it is our job to offer that same light that we can see. Like, we know it's not going to always be like this. We know it can't be. But a lot of people are going to be feeling suffering.
Yeah. They're
But a lot
just
of people
telling
are
me it's
also
like a hold the line. Those of us who are on our like frequency, it's like hold the line. Just keep inspiring and keep reminding people this will pass.
in self discipline because it is hard to be feeling all of this around us and to be able to then hold the line. Like, it's easy to say, but we have emotions and we're OCD and we overthink too. So it's our job. Like, it really is a job to maintain our balance.
I'm
But I
being
do feel,
shown in like 2027, like a sun with like little eyes like peeking over.
yes. Well, I will say this. We are still, you know how I always use the analogy of the trains are at the station together right now? I have felt so strongly, like the back of my motherfucking hand, that after 2027, they're departing. So that's a big time where we really need to be trying to make sure everybody's on the train they want to be on. The
Yeah.
job is, we need to continue to help people understand who they are and get
Yeah, and
them.
I've been shown to just the aftermath of what we're experiencing now and the rebuilding of what we want throughout the whole world, not just America, is coming. And so there is a reconstruction period that we can look forward to, but in and of itself, that's another challenge. It's just a happier challenge we're
Yeah.
dealing with now.
And if we want to hold a negative perspective, then we're like, oh, after all this discussion, now we got to build, but the positive perspective is, do we like what's been going on? Like, we really think about it, but yet we've still been happy. And this has been one of the darkest years for a lot of people. And I would say it's been one of the lighter ones for us.
Right. Yeah. And I think
So,
there's a lot more that are gonna feel like we are, where it's just like,
yeah.
because the reconstruction depends on more people waking up.
Well, just between the three of us, you moved an entire state, got a different job, and completely embraced a side of yourself you hadn't really worked with since you were in your 20s and below. You got out of a 23-year marriage. You've gotten on your own. You've learned exactly more about who you want to be on the other side of it. And you've gotten in touch with a gift that you were skeptical of for a long time. And for
Yeah.
me, I've completely moved where I reside. I'm completely gearing up to start another chapter. And all of it's been terrifying. For you, for you, for you. Like, we've been terrified. And yet also, I don't look at this year as terrifying. Huge parts of it were. And yet, it's like, this has been a great year, but
There's,
we've gone with the flow of it.
yeah.
To the numerology point, Melissa, 1 years are incredibly strong for people who are alpha energy. They're very challenging for those that want somebody to tell them what to do, because that's not the energy that's supported. Um, if you have a weak partner, you're going to really have to have empathy towards them, because most alphas wind up with partners that are not always that energy, usually because there's not enough room in this town for more than one of us, right? Um, Egos are going to be very challenged. So you're going to see friends of yours that maybe aren't alphas trying to be so. And it's a good time to just say, yes, you are. You're so cute. Because if we end all these relationships just because they're getting swept up in the one of it, that's not fair, right? Because we don't do very good in emotion years. Whereas I feel like Danica kills it. I struggle. Ariel, if she were here, she would literally be our tugboat during the emotional years. And we'd be like, help me cry, help me figure out what I'm supposed to feel. And she'd be like, I love this. Everyone's just like hard on their sleeves. I'm like, I hate this. So we have this really different energy that we each represent. Next year is a really, really good year to set patterns. If you want to change patterns, next year is a great time. They're almost saying fresh paint on everything if you want to take control. And they said, and also on you. They said, well, that's interesting. They just used a car analogy, and I love cars. But they said, when you put out a car and you want to sell it, they put out flagship versions. And they're saying, this is your year to get yourself in flagship shape, because we don't always do that. So there's a vain perspective, but then there's also like do I believe what I believe I'm good at? Do I believe I am who I am? Get yourself solidified into that. I'm about to have to lead people. Do I want people to see that my exhaust is bad? Do I want people to see that my door's chipped? Probably not. So it's going to be a really good year for us to stand taller, because we did so much labor this year in buffing. It's almost like we sanded shit down this year. So next year's the paint job. Next year's we got this, let's do it. There's no more, am I this, am I that? It's like, we're going to have to be talking to the people that are that way. We
Right.
can't be embodying that. I love this work. I just want to thank you guys again so much. What I'm probably going to do is clip this into 2 episodes and just make a whole episode about the year. But I'll have those both up. Tell us where we can find you, Melissa.
So I have a website. It is risingphoenixmedium.com. And this Saturday, I will be in Everett, Washington. And I've got a few other venues that I'm looking at, but all on the northwest side of the state.
Yay. And Ms. Danica will be joining us soon. And I am part of the Wolf and the Bear podcast with Miss Terry Groom. So come find us there for spiritual education. Here we kind of just get together, powwow, and investigate. How would you describe this podcast? Spiritually investigative? I don't know. Or whimsy.
I don't know how I would describe it. It is like it's like a God, what's the right word? It's just a way for us to collectively divine information and strengthen our connection.
Yes. And I also feel it's a light post for other intuitives for some reason. And so I'm so proud of us. And Ariel will be joining us back again soon. We haven't kicked her out of the team. We haven't gone mean girls. It's Wednesday. You got to wear pink. But I do miss her. And so we'll be seeing her again shortly. And thank you guys so much. I absolutely love this. I'm in love with what we do.
Love it too.
So I will see you guys next week, possibly. And if not, the week after that, we'll be back one way or the other.
And then right before we go, I want to show you my new toy. So I have a it's like a Schumann generator.
Yes.
This is the teepee version, but you can program it. So some of the Schumann ones only have like one frequency that they will do. I can program this one all the way up to 2000. So like today I was trying it out to see if it would help me connect. And so my guide told me what frequency to put on here.
What did he say?
He said 750. And
Love
so, but it did seem to help. I mean, I'm not going to feel like I have to have it with me, but I was just curious. I was actually going to use one of the frequencies that is like 425, where it's kind of like a calming, just for like when I'm at the fairs and people sit down, just to be like a more relaxing kind of a state. So I don't know, playing around
I
with it.
love that. I was looking at those one time. That's so cool. I know it was a pretty penny.
Well, no, this one was like $35. It really wasn't bad.
Oh,
No.
nice.
But like I said, you can see this is not pretty.
Well, what's funny is they're saying what an update on a singing bowl.
Yes,
It really is, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I got my cat is now burrowing under all of the blankets for some reason. It's so cute. I don't know why he's doing that though. Anyways, guys, I will see you next week, and I love you guys very much. Thank you.
Love you all too. Bye.